Hi, it's me. And we're in another position again. We've been moving around a little bit. Uh, the desk is now on the other side of the room. Not that I ever really did a tour or anything before for you to see that my desk was over there. Now it's over here. Whatever. Welcome. First video in a while. A little rusty. But that's okay. Welcome to the video. We're a little late in getting to the third quarter video. It's now about halfway through November, and the third quarter ended at the end of September. But to be completely honest, we didn't beat very many games, and I don't want to say that that none of them mattered, but they might not have. So we'll just get started. 4 games. First, we beat Pokemon Yellow. Earlier this year, this is kind of the 20th anniversary year of Pokemon. So earlier this year on the 3DS, Red, Blue, and Yellow became available for purchase on the 3DS eShop on the Virtual Console, which is pretty awesome. Very cool for them to do that. I bought 2 of them, so I know they made money on it. It's a very good idea, allowing people to do that. Buying the classics. I bought Red and Yellow because Red was my original, and Yellow was one that was different enough from the original Red and Blue that I thought it warranted also purchasing, even though I own the cart. But I own Red and Blue carts and Yellow carts anyway, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But the point is, I beat it, and it was what I expected. But it's actually, I think, and maybe it's because I didn't play it the same as I normally do, but I actually found it to be maybe just a smidge harder than Red and Blue. I don't know. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. But we also beat Pokemon Leaf Green on the Game Boy Advance in the third quarter. That one was really a long time coming. Leaf Green, actually, it's unfair to even say that I beat it in the third quarter, because really all I did was after I beat Yellow, I wasn't quite done with Pokemon yet. I was like, whatever. So I threw it back in, did like maybe an hour's worth of grinding, and then beat the Elite Four. That was all I did with that one. I was right at the end of the game anyway, so yeah, I did beat it technically in Q3, but I actually played the majority of that game, I think, in January is when I got it. I got it in a trade, and I think that's when I played the most of it. It was back then, the meat of it anyway, but still beat it in the third quarter. Oh well. Number 3 was actually number 3, but it's also number 15 on the year. Super Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. I just beat the arcade mode, or the championship mode, whatever it's called. I think it was just on medium difficulty. Maybe it was on easy. I can't remember exactly. But I beat it with my boy Ken. Yeah, that's... I'm not very good at Street Fighter 2, honestly. I think it's just the age of the controls, and as much as I like Street Fighter 2, I have fond memories of Street Fighter 2, but I still don't the game doesn't hold up as well for me as it has seemed to for other people, and that's fine, but still great game. But Street Fighter 2 is not my favorite Street Fighter game. I can say that honestly. Number 4, and finally for Q3 of 2016, was Capcom versus SNK 2. Beat this on PS2 Classic on the PS3. Great game, man. It's a really good. It's a tag team, not really tag team, because you can't tag in and out, but 3v3. Was it 3v3 or 2v2? I can't remember. One of the two. Fighting game. In the fashion of Street Fighter, but with some SNK characters thrown in there too, so you get some Akuma and Terry Bogard in there if you want to. So that's cool. I'm not nearly as familiar with SNK characters as I'd like to be, but some of them are a lot of fun to play with. So yeah, there you go. That's it. That's Q3 in a nutshell. And the reason I say that it doesn't matter is because even though I love Pokemon and I'm gonna pick Pokemon Leaf Green as my choice for the game of the quarter, it's not gonna beat anything that is already in the running for Game of the Year, which for reminder's sake, we'll say it's first quarter it was Deadpool and Pokemon Omega Ruby. Second quarter it was Doom 2016 and Halo 5. So as good as Pokemon Leaf Green is, not going to dethrone any of those in the running for Game of the Year. So just know that. Just know that Q3 was kind of a throwaway. Q4 is not shaping up to be much better. We've only beaten one game so far in Q4, and I beat Doom again on the PS4. So just spoiler. So yeah, that's it. But that really, saying that out loud reminds me of how badly I need to make a Doom video now that I've beaten it twice on both major consoles. Yeah, I really need to do that video, but another day. For now, we'll go ahead and lump in pickups into this video and a little bit of games I'm playing, whatever, just because it's been so long since I've done a video. This is kind of an update and pickups, whatever. It was my birthday just like a couple weeks ago, last week, I don't know, the 5th, however long ago that was from when I upload this video. Today, as of recording it, it is the 19th, not the 19th, why did I say that? Because it's 12/19, that's why I said it. Today is the 14th of November, actually technically the 15th because it's after midnight now, but yeah, my birthday was on the 5th, I turned the big 3-0, I am officially old, I am 30. Oh well. My wife threw me a wonderful surprise party. It was definitely a surprise. It was a murder mystery dinner costume party. We basically played a gigantic game of Clue. All of the guests that arrived at the party were dressed up as semi-iconic figures, both real and fictional. We had Ike and Tina Turner were there. We had Dexter was there. Princess Leia was there. Dale and Brennan from Step Brothers were there. And Adele was there. Clark Kent. I was Hagrid. I was there. Effie Trinket from Hunger Games. That was Whitney. The Water Boy was there. Bobby Boucher, the Water Boy, was there. It was pretty good. It was a good party. Oh, and Wayne from Wayne's World, he was totally there. And Princess Kate. Who am I missing? Now that I've said almost everyone, who am I missing? Oh, Cyndi Lauper was there. Is it Mia? Mia Turner? No, not Turner. Mia, so whoever the main chick from Pulp Fiction, Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction, she was there. And Deb from Napoleon Dynamite, she was there. It was a good party. It was a lot of fun. And the Uma Thurman ended up being the murderer. Crazy biatch. Oh well. Yeah, it was a good time. Had a blast, and like I said, it was a total surprise, and I can't thank my wife enough, and my sister. She helped a lot. They put it on and surprised the heck out of me, so it was a lot of fun. So that being said, with it being my birthday month, I did get some birthday goodies and just some other stuff earlier. But most of this stuff is pre-birthday, so we'll just go ahead and show it. Got some movies. Normally, I like to show movies just because I'm that kind of guy. I love silly, lighthearted, stupid comedies. I always have. And I go in phases with them too. And certain times, certain ones stick with me, and other times they get old. But for some reason, I just think Zac Efron is a lot of fun to watch, and same with Anna Kendrick and Adam Devine or Devine. So this movie was a no-brainer for me. We picked this up, and this movie is hilarious. Like I said, I love this kind of humor, and I know it's not for everybody, and there's nothing intellectual about this kind of movie. It's still just something that my wife and I and my family we enjoy. We enjoy this kind of funny movie. So, Mike and Dave Eat Wedding Dates. I thought it was funny, so you might want to check that out if you're into that sort of stuff. And it's like the Pitch Perfect, Neighbors kind of humor. That's what you're going to find here. Here's one. We haven't watched this yet. This is, I guess you could call it a guilty pleasure, but I'm not really I don't really feel that guilty about it. This is actually Whitney and I, one of our favorite subgenres of horror, and that is like the exorcism or whatever you want to call it, possession type movies, the Vatican tapes. We actually have not watched this yet. We tried to watch it before Halloween, or close to Halloween, but it never happened. And as of this recording, again, we have not watched it yet, but we are looking forward to it. And this was one of the ones we bought at a store called Hastings. Hastings is actually going out of business, or it's actually closed now completely. But they had a lot of stuff marked way down for purchase, and they had new Blu-rays for like $3, and this was one of those. That's one of those that we grabbed for like $3, so it was kind of a no-brainer. And another one, same deal, Apollo 18. I have seen this one. I love this movie. I love the kind of documentary style, or not really documentary, more like found footage type movies, like your Cloverfields and your Blair Witch Projects, and this one right up my alley, sci-fi, found footage / horror. So it's good. It's very good. Apollo 18. And lastly here, this was a previous, Hastings actually was also a place where you could rent movies and video games. And because of that, in their sale, they also had their previous rentals marked way down to sell too. So this is a previous rental Blu-ray change up with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. I guess again, this falls into that same style of horror, not really horror, comedy that I love. And we actually owned this movie, past tense. We bought it, watched it numerous times, loved it, and someone along the way borrowed it and never returned it because it is just gone. It is nowhere. So to make up for that, I did go ahead and buy it again, this time on Blu-ray, because like I said, like $2 for previous rentals. And the only bad part about it is like the disc itself is a rental disc, so like special features and things that like show themselves as being on the disc, you try to click on it and they're like, oh, this is a rental disc, you gotta buy the movie. So it's a little bit deceiving, because it is a straight up rental disc. It just has the theatrical version of the movie, even though it says it gives you the option of the extended version or whatever. Nope, theatrical is the only one you can watch. But for $2 for the Blu-ray for a movie that I know that I love, that I know is hilarious, wasn't a big deal to go ahead and buy that. Okay, moving on. A couple more We got some games actually from this same Hastings. Go ahead and show those now, I guess, because why not? Got 4 of them actually, and we had made a couple of different trips. Like not all of these were bought at the same time, and not all of them had the same discount either. Because, like I said, we bought them at different times. But yeah, this is still very cheap. I think the first time I got these first 2, I think ended up being like 10 each, maybe. So I think I spent like $20. First up is on the PS3 is Aquapazza. This is a fighting game, like an anime style fighting game. I honestly don't know too much about it. I remember when it came out, and shortly after it came out, and I was kind of getting into some fighting games, and I thought about buying it, but I couldn't find that sweet spot price that I wanted to pick it up. So I waited and waited. I'm glad that I did wait, because I finally did find it for like I said, like I think it was about $10 at this store. And I don't know if this one for sure was a. I think it must have been like a used, not like the rental ones, but like one that somebody traded in, because it's got a GameStop sticker on the back. So that's what leads me to believe that. Oh, and actually this doesn't even, it's not even the same game. This is actually a sticker for a different game. So yeah, so I want to say this was probably a used one that was traded into the store. But I mean the cover art seems to be in good shape, and the disc is pretty good shape. So ultimately, I'm okay with it. I still haven't popped it in yet, but soon enough. I've got a bunch of fighting games that I haven't played yet, some of which you'll see here in a minute. And the other one that I bought that time was Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on the Wii U, and I think this one was a rental. I don't know even why this was so high on my want list. I think it's just because it's just weird enough to think Call of Duty on the Wii U. And I really enjoy Black Ops 2 multiplayer and the zombies. So having it on the Wii U, where I could actually play with some other people that I know that have it on the Wii U, was kind of a cool deal. So yeah. Happy to pick that up on the Wii U. Double dip. All right, last 2 from Hastings. We've got King of Fighters 12. This one was $2, and the King of Fighters games I know aren't super cheap. I'm not sure about the Xbox 360 versions, but I know on the PS3 they're a little bit harder to find, and I don't know what they go price wise, but I just went ahead and snatched this up so I can go ahead and play it. Again, this was a rental, so it's got kind of a weird. I don't think this is original artwork. Maybe it is, but it's got like one of those weird rental cases where they have to put the little security thing in there, and it's got the rental sticker on the disc. But I haven't popped it in yet, so I don't know if it how it plays yet. But this one was one I was really excited to get. I'm really getting into this series. It's Earth Defense Force. This one actually doesn't have a case, or it doesn't have the cover art, which is fine. But again, rental. But it's Earth Defense Force 2025, and this is actually one of the least popular games in this series, because apparently it had some pretty glitchiness, or some pretty bad visuals in this particular version. I don't know if it's on both 360 and PS3 that it suffered, but I know that the game in general ended up getting a reboot, or like a remake on the current gen. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. We were talking about Earth Defense Force, and yes, they did re-release it on PS4 as Earth Defense Force 4.1, and it's got a subtitle, but it's the same game pretty much as 2025. Just they just fixed it, I guess. I don't know, but it's a really fun series where you go around and shoot giant aliens and robots and spaceships with rocket launchers and machine guns and grenades. It's just mindless fun. It's like, like a classic monster movie or kaiju film, Godzilla style. It's so over the top, and the dialogue is hilarious, and it's just got a lot going for it in as far as like video game, video game ass video game. That's just this silliness to the max, and it's a lot of fun, not to be taken too seriously, and it's a great palate cleanser. It's great to throw in Earth Defense Force when you're in kind of a funk, to play and just enjoy it until you get your groove back to play something else. It really is good for that, and it was good for me and I own most of the games in the series. The only one I don't have is the newest one, 4.1, on the PS4. And I don't own the 2017 Portable, which is a Vita game, but I think it was Japanese exclusive. But 2017 is on the 360, and I do have that one, and I have played quite a bit of it. And then there's Insect Armageddon, which some people choose not to believe that it's actually a game in the series because it was made by a different company, made by an American company, and I guess it's not as good. I played quite a bit of it. I didn't think it was that bad, but so there's a lot of hardcore fans that refuse to acknowledge the existence of Insect Armageddon. Well, whatever. And then there's EDF2 Invaders from Planet Space on the Vita. So I've been playing that quite a bit, and 2017 quite a bit. Both, just so I can play it at home and on the go. Anyway, continuing on, because we still got a lot of stuff to go through. One more thing I did get from Hastings, but I didn't personally buy it. My good friend Ducky Do Gaming did pick this up for me. It was an early birthday gift. It is the Diablo mouse. Yeah, he got this from Hastings, so we got a good discount on it because they're again going out of business. I thought this was super cool because I was kind of looking for a decent gaming mouse, but not only that, just also a mouse that was just freaking cool. So he did get this one and hooked it up. So it's alright. Cord's a little short, but it's actually not short. It's just stuck by the thing. I like the way the scroll wheel looks and the designs on the mouse, and then the Diablo 3 logo on the back lights up. It's a pretty dope little machine. So there you go. It's the Diablo 3 mouse, and it does work great. I've played a little bit of Diablo with it, but I actually haven't played very much of it with it. Haven't had a lot of time to sit at the computer and play, but I have used it for other things. It's my everyday mouse. Okay, onward to more games. I did mention picking up some more fighting games besides Aquapausa and that other one, King of Fighters 12. We did go through a little fighting game phase where we bought some fighting games. That happens quite frequently for me. Went a little crazy because I haven't even got to play some of these yet. But they were cheap. We went to Vintage Stock and got these three, and then the other one came from GameStop, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it was. So we got Guilty Gear X2 on the Xbox, the OG Xbox. I'm really learning to, I don't want to say love the Guilty Gear series and anime fighters in general, but I'm learning to appreciate them. I still don't love them. I want to love them more because there are a bunch of them out there, anime style fighters, and and a lot of them have a lot to offer. I think in the way of story modes and things like that, which I think is cool. You know, I have dabbled in Blaze Blue a little bit. Uh, I played Calamity Trigger, and I really enjoyed the story mode on that. It was kind of like a visual novel, um, and it was broken up by the occasional fight. You know, it was kind of cool. Um, but you're in that way you're pigeonholed, not really pigeonholed, but you're forced to use certain characters to fight with. So, um, in the case of Blaze Blue, it was, you know, Ragna. You know, you pretty much used him the whole time, which is fine because he's a cool character to play with. But you know, it didn't allow you to deviate much from that. But I haven't gone past Calamity Trigger with that. I have Continuum Shift that I haven't played yet, and I know there's Chrono Phantasma or Phantasm, whatever, is out, and I think the new one just came out, and I can't remember what it's called. But I mean, it's kind of overwhelming how big the Blaze Blue series is and how big the Guilty Gear series is. Like I said, with this is not even the first game. This, I think, there's a bunch of games in the series, and I think it originally came out on like the PlayStation. Guilty Gear 1, I think, is on the PlayStation. So I don't even know where this one falls in the series, but I have it. And same with this one. We got Xrd on the PS4. Now this one I did play quite a bit. I did use Saul Bad Guy and played through the arcade mode at least, which is just part of the story mode. Like there's an arcade mode and then there's actually a story mode, which I have not played, but I did beat the arcade mode, and it's a lot of fun. This is a cool game. And this one's actually getting cheap because this is Guilty Gear Xrd Sign, but the Revelator is already out, and it's like the extended version of this one. I guess there's more characters and more story and stuff to it. So it's the full price one, and this one's actually getting cheap, which was good for me because this one actually I was actually interested in this one way before I had a PS4. Like I was actually watching quite a bit of gameplay of this when it first came out on Twitch and stuff like that because it looked like a lot of fun, and I wasn't wrong in thinking that it looked good because it actually is a pretty great game. So Xrd is a good starting place, in my humble opinion, a good starting point for anime fighters. It's pretty easy to get into. I liked it a lot. Okay, this one I've heard mostly bad things about this game, but it looked just quirky enough, and like the cast of characters in this is just ridiculous. I had to get it. It's Capcom Fighting Evolution on the Xbox. It's got characters from Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, Darkstalkers, and Red Earth. Red Earth. I can't even believe that. Red Earth. That's Red Earth is a Capcom fighting game that was pretty much only in arcades. Like I don't even think it made any appearance on console that I know of. It's called like Warzord in Japan or something like that. Crazy game. I've actually played a little bit of it on emulation. That guy right there, Leo, he's from that game. He's from Red Earth. Just crazy that that a game like this, with throwing all those characters together, exists, and I think it's pretty cool. So it's got Urian and Alex from Third Strike, and Leo from Red Earth, and just some other characters that I was interested in. It's like, yeah, I think I need to play that. So haven't played it yet, but I own it. And then the last fighting game that I did pick up, I think it's the last one. Yeah, last fighting game. This one I was really excited to get. I kind of wanted this on PS2 to start with, but then I realized how many fighting games I already had on the original Xbox. So I said, what the heck? Why not? So we got Street Fighter Anniversary Collection on the Xbox. This is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike and Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. Which is pretty awesome. Third Strike was the main reason that I wanted it. I love Third Strike, but Hyper Fighting is cool to have, and I didn't have another version of Hyper Fighting, so there you go. Street Fighter 2, Hyper Fighting, Third Strike on console. Well, I have it on console already because it's on PSN on my PlayStation 3, but you know, having a physical version of it that's not on the Dreamcast, because you know I don't have a Dreamcast anymore, is pretty cool. Alright, that is the last of the fighting games. But that is not it. That's not all. One last pre-birthday pickup, and this was actually kind of considered a birthday gift from my wife, because she let me pick it out and buy it. We're at Nebraska Furniture Mart, of all places. And for those of you who aren't in our area, Nebraska Furniture Mart is this gigantic store that sells furniture and electronics and homewares and appliances. You know, it's crazy. Beds. It's a huge store. It's like freaking huge. It's kind of like a zip code. It's a big old store. And like I said, they do have an electronics section, and I was walking through the PlayStation 4 section, and a couple things caught my eye. First of which, I didn't even see the one I bought. I didn't see at first, but they had the Mad Catz Street Fighter 5 arcade sticks. But the mini versions, I forget what the name of them are, but they were only like $50, and it's the way by the size of the box, and you know, just the way it looks, they couldn't have been any bigger than my Hori fight stick that I already have. Which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with my Hori stick, and I'm pretty sure it will work on my PS4, so that's why I didn't jump at the opportunity to buy that one, but I did jump at the opportunity to get this one for $40, I think it was. Here's the Street Fighter 5 Mad Catz fight pad, and I saw some mixed reviews online about this. I do really like the stick, and I think that the D-pad is awesome. It's a circle D-pad. I think it works pretty well. I'm not having to fight with it too much. Some people are not having any luck with it, but I think it's pretty good. And I like the stick too. So I like that you have the option still. Like, you're not just, you know, dependent on one or the other. But it does have the touchpad too, and all 6 buttons are on top, but they're also here. Like, so you've got your R1 and R2 here, but you've also got them here, R1 and R2. So you can still use these if you want to, but you don't have to. So your heavy punch, heavy kick are either here or here, and then your L1 and L2s are still trip, punch, and trip kick. So I mean, it's all there. The only thing that this pad doesn't have that a regular controller does is the other stick. So you can't use this for, you know, any game that would require 2 sticks, but you can use it for anything that doesn't. So and it does work for PS3 too, which I thought was nice. Got a little toggle switch right there. You can switch it and use it on your PlayStation 3 or your PlayStation 4. So there you go. Mad Catz Street Fighter 5 fight pad. I am approving of it, but you know, of course, I'm not reviewing it. I'm not a hardware review guy. But there's my 2 cents. That it's a pretty okay little piece of hardware. All right, might as well wrap this thing up, because I don't even know how long this is, because this is going to be in two segments. My best friend really tugged at the heartstrings and he gave this to me before my birthday, uh, totally just randomly. I mean, they came over to my house and were hanging out, and he's like, "Here, you want this?" And he knew that I wanted it. We talked about him and I talk about stuff all the time, but he knows that I love Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's kind of my thing, and he was shopping on eBay for something. I don't know what, but he came across this. And it's an original Swamp Thing snare arm action figure, still in the box. It's like it's not a reproduction. This is still the original thing. He didn't tell me how much he paid for it. I don't think it was very much. But this was my favorite toy as a kid. Was this very figure, and I still have it actually. Like, so it wasn't like I was going without or anything. I still have it. It still works. Like, his arm is still intact. His left arm actually like comes out and like retracts back in, which is awesome. But Kenner Toys, yeah, this is tug at the heartstrings. Like I said, I cried because this is my favorite childhood toy, and now I have it in the box. So that is just pretty awesome. So big thanks to my best friend Brandon for that hookup, because that means a lot. The lone music pickup, we were shopping in Topeka for just whatever on my birthday actually, and we went to a CD trade post, and they had a bunch of vinyl and stuff in there. And I had heard about this particular piece of vinyl just like the day before we went there, which is actually shocking that they even had it. And they had 2 or 3 other things by the same band that I wanted. The band is called Brand New. They're one of my favorite bands, and this is a 7-inch single, but it does have 2 songs on it, and I don't know how you pronounce it. It's like M-E-N-E, mine, whatever. This is a fantastic song, and the other song on there, Out of Range, is really great too. It was really cool to have this on vinyl. I'm not going to pull it out, but it is clear vinyl, which I thought was cool. All right, last 4 things. Same day. Well, not the same day. He actually bought it the day before. This came out on the day before my birthday, because I'm a junkie for the series, as most of you know. My brother-in-law is as well, and he picked it up for me for my birthday, which is very great of him. We did get Call of Duty Infinite Warfare with the Modern Warfare Remastered, of course, because Modern Warfare is the greatest Call of Duty game in the series, in my opinion, and really, really great to be able to revisit it, without just throwing in the 360 version and getting online with all the hackers and people just doing stupid shit on there. It's actually great to be able to revisit the online and actually play with people who are actually playing the game as it's supposed to be played. And Infinite Warfare is really great too. I've spent actually probably about equal time online with both games. Traditionally, when I get the Infinite War, or when I get Call of Duty games, the new Call of Duty games, I'll spend a good amount of time online before I play the campaign, just because I feel like if you're going to play Call of Duty online, the best time to do it is right when it comes out, for the first several weeks, because then after that, people are just so stupid. Once everybody figures out all the little nooks and crannies, and just camps, it loses some of its fun. Not all of it, just some of it. It's not like a total wash at that point, but it does lose a little bit after it's been out for a little while. So yeah, I like to get them and play them right away, and then play the campaign after that, after it's died down a little bit. But anyway, on the same day that I got the vinyl for my birthday, I did pick up 3 more games, and that will do us here. Uh, they had a buy two get one free going on at Vintage Stock, and I took advantage. We got Rune Factory, Tides of Destiny. Love the Rune Factory series. It's just a lot of fun. I love Harvest Moon style games, but I actually love Rune Factory more than Harvest Moon personally, just because of the added fantasy parts with the light RPG stuff going on with fighting enemies and things like that. On top of the farming simulation and the relationship simulation and all that stuff. I love both parts, both aspects of the series, which is why I do think that the Rune Factory series is better than Harvest Moon. But essentially, one doesn't exist without the other. You can't. There is no Rune Factory without Harvest Moon, and I respect that. So. Tides of Destiny, I haven't even tried it yet, but I know that it's a little bit different than the other entries in the series. From what I've heard, this is just as much about monster collecting and making your monsters work for you on your farm just as much as it is actually doing it yourself. So a little bit different for the series from what I've heard, but still looking forward to trying it out. And then the last two here, well, the last two are actually kind of iconic, not iconic, but big ones for my collection. First of which is another addition, a welcome addition to my ever-growing id collection. And when I say ever-growing, it is getting a lot bigger, especially since the last time I recorded an id video. But it is getting narrowed down to just a few things left that I need, and this was a pretty big one for me. We did get Wolfenstein 3D on the Game Boy Advance. Not a great port, not a great one. The game plays pretty well. It's the guns are there and the enemies are there, and you can tell what the graphics are. They don't look fantastic, but they're there. But there's no music, none. They still got sound effects. You still hear the gunshots. You still hear the enemies hollering at you, but there's no music, and that's kind of a letdown. And they put the music on Doom. Doom is a much bigger game. All the GBA. Where's the music, kid? Where's it at? So, Wolfenstein 3D, not a great port, but still cool to have, and welcome in my collection. The last one here. This one I consider, even though it's not that rare or expensive, I still consider it a trophy piece for me. And I had a mini goal. After I had given my dad, I got him a Retron system for Father's Day or something a couple years ago. And I had given him a bunch of his old NES games that, were his, but mine, whatever. Mine, but actually his. So I gave him back. I gave him back my Wizards and Warriors, which hurt, but I've since replaced it, and I actually have 2 copies now. Box copy, which is cool. And I gave him Tetris and Mario Brothers and both Zeldas. And so when I had done that, I had made myself a mini goal that when I replaced my copies of the games, of the Zelda games specifically, that I would get the gray cartridges, which, oddly enough, are the more unique ones, because all the rest of the carts are gray, unless they're Tengen carts, which are black or whatever. The gold ones are the Zeldas typically, and those look more unique. But as far as Zeldas are concerned, the gray ones are the more unique. But like I said, not more rare necessarily, less common, we'll say, not necessarily rare, but unique and fun. So it made it fun to me to want to hold out to replace my Zelda carts. So last year I ended up getting a Legend of Zelda 1, the original Legend of Zelda Grey Cart from Duck Do Gaming. And for my birthday, I found Link, Zelda 2, Adventure of Link. And it is minty. So good looking. This is the first thing we saw when we got to vintage stock, and I immediately just like, yes, hold that for me. Hold that while I look for other things, because I'm getting that. And it was only 25 bucks. And like I said, buy two, get one free. So of Wolfenstein, Rune Factory, and this, I bought two of them and got free one of them. And they were all about the same price. So I got my money's worth with this one. So yeah, mini collection goal completed. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out, folks. I'm going to end this video because it's getting late, and this video is now like an hour long. So thanks for hanging out. Doom Waves out.